ketika anak kita diberitahu bahwa nak, itu alkohol itu haram, itu ilmu, gitu. Akan tapi dari tingkat mungkin keyakinan dan amalnya, mungkin karena dia mungkin hangout sama teman-teman high schoolnya atau college-nya yang juga rajin minum, dan kelihatannya kok apalagi di movie-movie kalau minum tuh kelihatan gede gitu kan, dewasa begitu ya, adult gitu. Apalagi iklannya kan drink responsibly gitu, kayak jadi responsible person nih kalau kita drink, tapi nggak banyak-banyak gitu, nggak sampai mabok, cuma just a little bit. Nah, itu bagaimana agar kita menjadikan anak itu bukan sekedar tahu gitu, bukan sekedar paham, tapi tadi keimanannya meyakini bahwa itu tuh keliru, itu dari Allah. Kemudian amalannya ya dia menjauhi gitu. Bahkan ketika temannya nawarin, this is for free ya, it's on me, you just drink it. No, dia nggak nerima gitu.
Ada dua isu di sini, Pak. There are two things here. There are two issues here. The first issue is, before you say it's haram, you have to rationalize with them.
Good point.
Yeah, because nowadays even kids, not even 16 years old, even my 10 years old daughter will never do anything except you convince her or you rationalize with her that that's the best thing for her to do, or that's the worst thing for her not to do. Then only they will appreciate that you're not forcing her, you're not telling her what to do, but you are giving her chance to make the best choice. Jadi kita, dan ini kan dunia, apatah lagi di Amerika Serikat ini, anak-anak biasa dengan choice. Langsung kalau kita, ini haram ini, tak boleh lakukan. Kamu muslim enggak? Kamu takut Allah enggak? Itu langsung dia kata, langsung aku buat aja. Kan? Tapi harus rasional bersama mereka. Kadang-kadang itu keharusannya. Harus kalau bahasa Melayu, bahasa Malaysia maksudnya boleh buat, boleh tidak. Tapi kalau harus bahasa Indonesia itu wajib gitu. Jadi rasional. You need to convince. Beda jauh itu. Kalau ngaji fikih itu rancu. Jadi kalau aku ngajarkan kepada anak-anak Indonesia harus bermakna wajib. Kalau dengan anak Malaysia harus wajib itu, bukan harus. And number two is about seeing with example. Alhamdulillah nowadays Allah SWT has given us the nikmah of internet. Internet is both ni'mah and nikmah. It's both disaster and blessing. So you go to internet, try to explain them all the bad effects of drinking, the bad effects of anything. It will open their eyes. Let them decide. And number two, and the most important thing, when you have convinced them, you must give them a trust. Jangan tidak percayakan mereka. Jikalau tidak percayakan, mereka akan rebellious. Kalau kita sudah titipkan mereka dengan keislaman, titipkan mereka dengan rasional ini, jangan macam tak percaya dengan mereka. Itu akan membunuh pede ya, membunuh pede mereka. Cuma satu lagi Pak, ada isu yang keduanya. Isu keduanya, when we talk about dawah, we talk about Islam, it's all about what? It's all about giving meaning to our life. A lot of people, they live in a meaningless life. They have a lot of things. They have wealth, they have good cars, they have big house, they have mansion, but they're living in a meaningless life. And one thing, Alhamdulillah, say Alhamdulillah, Allah SWT created us as Muslims, has given us Islam, that we know our life is very meaningful. To be the servant of Allah, and every single deed, every single action that we do is dedicated to Allah SWT. But it must not stop there. As Muslim, we're searching for the meaning of our life, and we give meanings to others. We share with others. We share with them because we care about them and we love them. That's all about da'wah. Giving meanings to others within the radius of Maqasid Syariah.
Ustaz yang lain mau menambahkan apa yang sudah disampaikan Dr. Mazli terkait dengan ini tadi?
Saya ingin mendengar dari Syekh Juban.
Pada Syekh.
Ya, sebelum saya mulai tentang bahasa Malaysia ini.
Berbeza.
Ingat ke Dr. Hasan dulu kesini ya? Masih ingat ya? Dr. Hasan dari Malaysia.
Hasanuddin.
Ya? Hasanuddin. So he told a very funny story. He has to go to the airport because there is a guest from Indonesia. You know, so he brought his wife because the guest will come with his wife. Right? Ketika sampai di airport, rupanya hanya suaminya yang datang, istrinya nggak bisa datang. So Pak Hasan tanya, nah kelaminnya mana? Ini tamu bisa bingung ya, saya bawa. Ya. Rupanya bahasa Malaysia kalau itu tuh maksudnya dibilang alat kelamin. Jarum kelamin itu istri. Betul Pak? Betul.
So many Indonesian learn.
Jadi hati-hati ya Mas. Ya. Ada lagi Ustadz di Malaysia, dia ngajar di Malaysia. Dia disuruh memberikan khutbah nikah. Ustaz jangan lupa nanti saya jemput ya untuk khutbah pernikahan anak saya. Saya jemput untuk pernikahan anak saya. Jadi acara sudah mulai sejam ditunggu nggak datang. Setelah ketemu lagi, Ustaz kemana? Dibilang saya nunggu-nunggu di rumah mau dijemput, ada yang jemput. Kejemput been invite. Ya. Undang. Diundang ya. Kita bahasa jemput itu artinya I pick you up. In Dallas, there's a boy who was homeschooling. When he going to, I think, 11th grade, he want to go public school. In high school, I said, the father said, what? You know, what going to happen with your hafidh, memorizing Quran? I said, Dad, Allah give me a gift. I want to share with the others. So there are two types of youth. Some youth, they feel that Islam is a burden, beban, it's heavy. So therefore, when you see me in the masjid, say, why you come to the masjid? My dad. Why you come to Matar? My mom. They're not happy because of burden. But this boy is opposite. He said, Allah give me a gift. I want to share with the others. So he went to public school. You know, when they graduated, 14 American boys become Muslim because of them. Because those boys said, why these boys are so different, right?